Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Osha.
Let's start episode 85 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast. And today's question was sent by Bruce. He writes, "Greetings Vidas. Thank you for your mailing list and your fine resources for organists. I'm a big fan of J.S. Bach and fairly proficient pianist, pretty knowledgeable about theory and acoustics, conduct a community choir and orchestra focusing on Bach cantatas, and am a big fan of the organ. I have recently been given access to a fine organ and would like to give it a try. I know that finding a good teacher is important, but before I do that, I would like to look at a few Bach pieces to me get started. I know Klavier-Ubung Part 3 is there something in there to try, or is there something more appropriate and possibly less intimidating for a beginning organist? I would like recommendations for some pieces with interesting pedal parts that are accessible either with cantus firmus in the pedal or with something like what I naively believe pedal parts are like. What would you start with if you were me? I've been starting with Bach chorales, but I would like something more like a chorale prelude or fugue, if possible. Cheers, Bruce." Interesting question, right,
Yes,
Osha?
very interesting.
Not too many people would like to start playing the organ with Klavier-Ubung Part 3.
Yes, that's definitely not a good piece, not a good cycle for a beginner. Even with short chorales, that have no pedal via. Some of them are very hard to manage, not talking already about long chorales and prelude and fugue in E flat major, which might be really challenging for even advanced organists. So I would suggest for Bruce to start with some other cycle or some other
Orgelbuchlein, I
pieces.
think, would be appropriate for him
Yes.
because he has probably a fairly developed finger technique already.
Yes.
What's the easiest chorale prelude from your experience in Orgelbuchlein?
I don't remember now which was the easiest for me, but definitely the nicest for me was when we're in Houston Newton's.
Mm-hmm. Slow notes.
Yes, very
Maybe,
beautiful melody.
maybe, maybe ornamented chorale is not that easy to manage to play for the beginner.
But because of a slow tempo, I would say it probably wouldn't be so hard to manage the pedal part.
And Ich ruf zu dir, of course, it only has 3 parts. It might be a possibility to start with this too.
Yes, it's in F minor, yes.
That's right. And in general, you can basically take any chorale prelude from this collection you want, and it will not be that far away from your current abilities, right? If you are at the level that Bruce is.
Yes. And for starters, I think that inventions would work well on the organ. Of course, we don't have a pedal part, but if you have well-developed manual technique, I think inventions would be a good way to get familiar with the organ and how it works.
He says that he's practicing Bach chorales, 4-part chorale, probably harmonizations.
Yes, that's what I understood.
That's not a bad thing either.
That's a good, yes, way.
This is more complex than playing hymns in 4 parts because the inner parts are more moving and pedal
Yes.
part is more advanced, and therefore basically the voices are more independent.
Yes. But as he mentioned, some of the choral preludes, Orgelbuchlein, and later maybe like Grade 18, or so-called Leipzig chorales.
Or maybe let's try to recommend him Schubler chorales too.
Yes, but some of them have like trio texture that might be challenging. Oh, I don't know, maybe not.
He will find out for himself, I
Yes.
think, sooner or later. If he starts, let's say, with Wachet auf and discovers that it's too difficult to add this tenor voice with the left hand, then he can go back to the easier pieces.
Sure. The head off is not that bad except for the cadences. Cadences are quite tricky.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
But the beginning of the head off is very good for a beginner to learn the pedal part.
Yeah, entire
Because there
page.
are only two voices, pedal and right hand.
Entire pages without the tenor line, and tenor line doesn't come in until after the initial ritornello, after 12 measures or so. Wonderful. So that's a good start for him to undertake. And Osha, in your opinion, how many pieces should he play, let's say, from the easier collection like organ Buchlein, and then be ready for the next stage, more advanced chorale preludes?
Like, do you mean third part of a Klavier-Ubung?
Yes, yes.
Well, I would say to play the Klavier-Ubung part 3 would take, I would say, 4 years of very extensive practice, at least.
So in this time he will probably master entire Klavier-Ubung, Orgelbuchlein,
Yes.
or all the Schubler chorales, even grade 18 chorales. Some of
Yes.
them are much easier than Klavier-Ubung part 3.
Because when I think about some chorales from that collection, part 3, I mean, like Vater Unser, the long one, or Jesus Christus unser Heiland, it just makes me shiver.
Or even
they
this,
are very complex and very difficult.
or even the 6-part with double pedals.
Yes, Aus tiefer Not,
Also
based on the psalm.
difficult and dense texture. Right. Good, guys. I think you have good tips now to get you started. And if you have more questions, please send us to us. We love helping you grow as an organist. Okay, this was Vidas.
And Osha,
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.